Praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha Rakakodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, was rule great millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba babal. So I had a dream last night, and it was actually edifying in the spirit, and I had to deal with how Jake, we're going to be saved, the man and then the woman. And this is the order that the Lord has created. And the woman is going to return to the man, the ones that are ordained to be saved of Israel. And the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. All right. So in my dream, I came across a city, and I knew it was like Jacob's trouble. I was even thinking, how am I going to cover this city? Why am I here in this city? I was thinking all these things in my head in the dream. And then I had a group of people that I did know, but they didn't want to listen or obey instructions. So I sent them away. I said, I don't need your trouble. Get the fuck away from me. So I looked at them, and they were leaving, and they were in black. And then I looked to my right, and that was on my left hand. The city was in front of me. And it was a big city, like a major city, like LA, like Dallas, like something like that. It was a big downtown city. And we were in the time of Jacob's trouble, which a lot of people were already dead. I already knew it. So, I like I said, the ones that didn't want to obey, I sent them away. And in the dream, they were in black. I know the color black means void, right? And then when I looked to my right, at my amazement, I saw a bunch of Israelite women, different height, different thicknesses, different shades of color, but they were all dressed similar to this woman right here. And the color of the clothing was khaki. All right, and it was, when I looked over my right shoulder, these women were following me silently. And I knew that they were very loyal in the spirit. And in the moment, once I laid eyes on them, I already knew they belonged to me. But when I looked over my shoulder, I seen literally a wave. Like if you were to look in a field and just see, it all be grass, or it all be, corn. It all looks, in formation, the same color. But it was so many, you couldn't see the end of them, right? But the color khaki, which I pulled up that color, the meaning of khaki. All right, so I got this here from the polishingcolors.com, which explains the meaning of the colors, symbolic meaning of the colors. It says khaki color meaning in the Bible. Khaki is a color that brings to mind an image of army uniforms and natural landscapes. And that's what I thought of. I thought of a field just full of one kind of grass or one kind of plant, uniform together in unity. It says its name is derived from the Persian word kak, meaning dust or earth. Although khaki has many different meanings in modern society, it also carries a strong spiritual significance when used in the Bible. The color khaki can be found throughout the scripture and often appears as a representation of humility and service among God's people. And that's good enough right there. That's the point I had. I knew they were in service to me. And they had a dress on down to the foot, and they had a apron. That's why I knew they were in service. And with their head covered, they were mine. And they were all in unity, uniformed with me, which also khaki, it goes with anything. That's another symbolism of khaki, is you could put it with anything and it will go with it. So they were willing, and the ones on my left hand were not willing. That's why they were in black. They were void of understanding. But on the right hand, over my right shoulder, there was a field of Israelite women that I could not number that were in uniform to me. And I was the only one with color. I had like a red shirt on with blue jeans or something like that. I had color on me, but the women that were following me in Jacob's Trouble had nothing but khaki dresses on, aprons on, and head coverings, and they were silent, which made me think of a couple scriptures, as I went through this and I was talking to a couple brothers about it. It says in Isaiah 7:1, Isaiah 4:1. It says, "And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel." So they're going to put on a dress to follow us. "Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." See? So that 7 ain't just talking about 7 women. It's talking about a complete number of women. And for some men, and the reason I knew there was no other men around me, the Lord allowed me to understand that all of the elect are going to have this. The ones that survive, that endure Jacob's trouble, they're going to have lots of women that follow them. And that's how we're going to start the kingdom over again. All right? And now let's go to Revelation. Let me see, 7 and verse 4. And I'm talking about Israelite women, all right? Not heathen women. Now, Israelites could look like any nation. They could look like so-called Caucasians. They could look like Asians. They could look like Africans. They could look like any race, speak any different language, right? But their faith is in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. It says, "And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the sons of Israel." And this is dealing with the elect men. Now, verse 9, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude." It says, "which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb." See? So it's going to be a lot of Israelites that are saved, but the majority of Israel, which you have the 2/3 that are here in America, they're going to die here because they don't repent. They're void. They lack knowledge, so they're going to be destroyed. All right? But the ones that are ordained to be saved, they're going to humble down and submit as it says they would in 1 Peter chapter 2. So like at 1 Timothy chapter 2. It says, I'll just start at verse 10. But which becometh woman professing godliness with good works. Right? So she's going to be on her best behavior. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Right? So to be under the rule of man. Complete subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And that's how all these women were. They were silent. I didn't even know they were there until I looked. But when I looked, it was just a field that I could not see the end of either end of it, right? Only them that were in front of me, I could see them. But as it went on, I couldn't see the end of it, of Israelite women in order, right? Which are, they were following me, which I hope to be of that number of the elect, and I endure into the end. All right, it says, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, meaning even if you don't understand, it don't matter. The Lord is the one doing it. She shall be saved in childbearing, talking about the Israelite woman, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety, right? And that's why the apron and the so-called slave outfit is because they were in the act of service to me. You see? And once again, I didn't see no other brother there, but I knew there was other brothers. But there was so many women grabbing onto us that we had to separate, because just like Lot and Abraham and Lot, they had such a huge flock that they would eat the ground bare. All right? So that's why we were going into the cities. But like I said, I was like, how am I going to cover all this ground looking for stuff in the city? And when I looked behind me, I had a city following me of women, of Israelite women that were willing to serve me. And they were young. And like I said, they were obedient and in subjection, ready to serve. And I believe this is the women that the Lord has ordained to be saved. Just like he has the men of the Lord ordained to be saved, he has those women that are going to be saved with the elect men, and they're preparing themselves to follow the elect men, right? The Lord has them being prepared to meet their groom, as we, the bride of Yahushua, is being prepared to meet our groom. All praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua, B'Shem HaRakakudash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abababo.